Hey everybody, this is Joey at Boomtown. I'm just going to give it about another minute, let some people funnel in here. You should see my screen. You should just see Boomtown Point Sales Webinar September 4th. So let me know if you do not see the screen. You can always chat and ask questions during the webinar. All of you will be on mute, but feel free to use your panel to chat and ask questions. And again, we'll just start in about a minute. All right, well, thank you again for joining. Again, you should see my screen, see Boomtown. You should hear my voice. If you do not, just chat in and let us know. The afternoon session is typically a little bit later. So with that, what we'll do is, we'll go through all of this, but we will probably have less questions. Feel free to ask questions and again, chat us through the portal. We did have an identical session at 8 a.m. this morning. Anyone who registered for either session will get a recording of the deck, of the webinar, and they'll also get a copy of the deck. So again, right after this, I'll draft that up and I'll BCC you guys all in an email. I'll make sure that you all have that so you can forward to your team or share with other members of your team who maybe missed this morning's webinar or this webinar right now. But again, both sessions are identical. So whatever recording we send over, it will be the same. Quick agenda for today. We're going to go over just basically some hardware, making sure you guys know the peripherals, especially for the new groups. We're going to go over pricing and new software bundles and obviously that's what a lot of you are here for, learn about the new software bundles that Poynt has come out with. I also have Bob Wesley, who will be joining me from Poynt, and he'll speak a little bit more to the future of Poynt and kind of what the forecast looks like. We'll do an overview of some of those features in a little bit more detail, some visuals on what that actually looks like, and then do a refresh on some third-party apps or third parties in general that have helped a lot of our resellers and sell more Poynt. And then I'll do a refresher on how to get support. Feel free to ask questions. If we don't get to your questions during the webinar, we'll do it at the end. And we'll try to keep up with all the questions that are coming in throughout the webinar. Again, you'll get a recording of this, and then you'll also get a copy of the deck. Reminder, a lot of you get your hardware from TVG Phoenix Group. Feel free, if you're comfortable with them, keep doing it. These other guys, POS Pro and POS Data, are opening up their hardware facilities for Poynt. You can get the Poynt P16 dual screen, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, 3G with printer. There is the Poynt 5 Wi-Fi or the Poynt 5 3G, the Poynt 5 extended battery case, and the Poynt 5 printer sleeve. So all that hardware should be available. And a lot of you already use TBG, but again, these other groups are starting to sell. So feel free to reach out if you already work with them or want to work with them. Supported hardware for Poynt, just kind of, we have this in our knowledge base. I know Poynt has it in their knowledge base as well, so easy to find online. There's also a KDS screen application. So if your customer wants a bump screen or if they want the KDS screen, they have the ability to download this app. I believe it's $6 a month. And then all you need is a screen that can pull a web address. And then you can basically go into your HQ, and I have an article here on how that works. But that is available as well. So on top of maybe having a kitchen printer or receipt printer, you can have a KDS screen as well for maybe this QSR or fast casual concepts. So let's get into it. I know that a lot of the buzz has been around the new software bundles, understanding what this looks like. To be very clear, the basic reseller fees are not changing. If you don't know your reseller fees, please go to your administrative, your admin or the group that maybe you're selling through. We don't go over pricing, our reseller pricing, because I know a lot of you are agents and sales reps, so feel free to go to your administrators and you can get your pricing there. But the basic pricing for resellers is staying the same, and the basic package is staying the same. What we're going to do is introduce 2 new software packages that should help you sell to better merchants, to more sophisticated merchants. And also, if your merchant feels that they want to go somewhere else because they need more features, definitely listen up, because we have a lot of great ways to keep them on point. And between the third-party apps and some of the new native software, they have a lot of options. And so that's definitely our message here. Is a lot of things are changing, but we have a lot of great material and a lot of great features for your existing merchants and for your new merchants. I think the existing merchants, and a lot of you, some of them might have been using more advanced features like invoicing or recurring payments. But at the end of the day, I looked at the data, and not many of the existing merchants were going past the basic bundle. So we'll go over what these bundles look like, but it shouldn't have affected too many merchants. But again, this is to educate you on kind of the go-forward plan, and we'll go through reseller FAQ, kind of what this looks like, just past obviously the bundles. So let's go right into it. Let's show you what these bundles look like. Again, basic, there's no additional fee, it's just your reseller fees. They accept all payment types across the board still. All transaction types, refunds, pre-op, all of that will be basic, advanced, premium. And then accept payment interactions, accept on-screen signature and tips, that will still be basic. Store forward, which is offline payments, will only be the advanced and the premium. This has been in beta for a while, but it's basically being released now. And so if your merchant needs offline payments, definitely let us know. They can subscribe by going to the merchant HQ and subscribing to one of these packages. All of your merchants existing are on premium until basically, I believe, like September 15th. They all got a message in August, and they all have premium features until September 15th. Poynt was gracious enough to keep multi-mid at basic, so definitely something that you want to highlight. Multi-mid, you typically have to pay more with a lot of processors and a lot of smart terminals, so the ability to have multi-mid on the Poynt terminal without having to pay for more, it's definitely something that you guys should highlight and keep in your wheelhouse as you're doing more marketing and doing outreach. Send paperless receipts, SMS and email, that's going to stay on the basic. Printing to multiple printers is going to stay on the basic. Customer messaging and reviews, we'll show you what this actually looks like. That's going to be an added cost. You'll see the added cost guys at the top too. So again, they're just paying whatever they're paying you now for basic, and then they can pay Poynt directly for the advanced and premium package. They're going to put their credit card in like they would for a third-party app on the terminal or at Poynt HQ and subscribe to one of those packages. And, we want your feedback. So, as we finish this webinar, feel free to email me on what you think or how this compares to other products you might be selling or you're trying to sell against. Logo messages and email and SMS receipt, that is advanced and premium. Barcode scanning is going to be across the board, which is great. And then everyone gets basic register. So out of the box, you still get a register with 75 viewable products, and you'll have modifiers, but there are additional size packages that you can go for having like 500 items or up to 500 or over 500. You'll have the different packages. And then there is a cash discount in the register feature that's coming out hopefully by the end of the year. I'll have Bob talk about that more in a moment here. And then inventory management, which actually to date you can only see how many items you've sold. Now you can actually see how many items you'll have left. So that's going to be super helpful, and that's already built. They're really kind of just testing it out right now. We'll show you what the virtual terminal looks like. That's going to be for the advanced and premium. You can basically take payments on the web or on your mobile HQ app. Recurring and pre-approved payments and invoicing, which are all very important features, obviously, to run your business as a more sophisticated and better business. All right, so let me move on to the next slide here. Marketing and loyalty, we're going to go over the loyalty program today. The loyalty is to gather customer information and show and reward your customer based on their customer spend, and it's pretty seamless. The next feature we're going to do is come out with email marketing platform built in, so the customer will have templates, and they'll have the ability to email all of their customers, right from the Poynt software. They won't have to use like MailChimp or Constant Contact. They won't have to use another software. And then you can extract your customer data list, which is great. So maybe if you already are comfortable with another marketing platform that you're using, you have the ability to use that. Reporting and analytics, transactional reports, chargeback reports, all going to be across the board, except for QuickBooks Online integration. It's only going to be for the advanced and the premium. Another great feature is up to 5 users on the existing native software. A lot of smart terminals do charge you for additional users, so you have roles and professions up to 5. And that's great. I mean, if a merchant needs more than that, then they're probably going to need more versatile solution anyways, and they're going to need more features. And then you have the ability to access, Poynt HQ on your app, on your web, across the board. And then support, your merchants all get support from Boomtown, and we'll go over that at the end of what that looks like. We did ask for a la carte pricing, so if a group just wants invoicing, but they don't want to pay $40 a month, they just want the loyalty program, but they don't want to pay the extra $10 for the full package. The VT means virtual terminal on web. You have the ability to pay a la carte. Your merchants will have that capability. And again, they pay Poynt directly. Boomtown doesn't take any cut of this. Actually, you'll actually get rev share for selling the different packages, the basic, advanced, and premium. and Boomtown will not take a piece of that either. So that will go right to your reseller. We're going to keep our fees exactly the same. We don't want to change those. We don't want to make things, we don't want to slow down your team from selling. So let's go over some of the value props here for these new packages. Again, the Register app, just adding more items, being able to use that QuickBooks integration, going to do the inventory management as we talked about, the invoicing capabilities. These are for more merchants who are probably processing a lot and need more. And then the loyalty program built into the platform, collecting customer data, watching customer spend, extracting customer data, and then using that again in campaigns that really show a clean ROI is going to be very helpful for your business. Pre-approved payments, recurring billing, subscriptions add-on to that here shortly, where you can save customer cards on file, and then the virtual terminal on the Poynt HQ or the web. Customer support, I kind of de-highlighted here because you're going to get customer support either way. One quick question we'll probably get is how does this apply to businesses with multiple locations or stores, right? If they paid for one of the package, the first store will automatically be placed in the advanced tier or premium if using premium features, right? So they purchase above basic. Additional charge for each store will be added, $20 if on advanced, $7.5 if on premium. So that's not terminals, that's just each store. So they add different locations. That's going to be the additional charge for each location. So they actually kind of get a discount on the premium if they have multiple premium on the packages. Upcoming features planned for the next 6 months. There's store forward, as we mentioned, offline payments, the email marketing built into the loyalty, virtual terminal, which we'll show here in a moment, and then surcharge or cash discount. Bob, this is probably a great time to introduce you. We're going to go over in a second what the future of Poynt looks like, but it'd be great for you to kind of talk about the surcharge cash discount feature and how you've explained it to me.
Yeah, so cash discount obviously was kind of the first program that was introduced into the marketplace, but it's not as powerful as surcharging. Surcharging really allows both the merchant to benefit as well as people who are reselling, credit card processing to benefit substantially. However, every great new product has its challenges, and so we're being very, very careful. I mean, there are certain compliance-based challenges. For example, a merchant has to register, and what's the registration process that they go through? There's signage challenges, and then there's slight differences as you move from state to state. So we're being very careful in terms of trying to construct this product so that you can maintain your merchant's compliance with the various different networks in providing this new feature. And at the same time, I think you'll see that you'll have an opportunity to reach returns. So we know it's a very important product. We've seen a lot of different types of products out there. Some of them are half-baked. We want to make sure that we deliver a really terrific solution to you, and we're very focused on trying to get something out as soon as possible, which obviously means in the last I guess 5 months that we have, or 4 months that we have of this year, and I think you'll be very excited with it. But as Joey kind of indicated, this whole change or set of changes we're not at an end point. This is a journey. We're headed towards a destination. We just see such a wave of changes that are going on in the marketplace, and it's changing the conversation from just selling payments to selling value and finding new ways for you to earn more money, and finding ways for the merchants to better serve their customers and also to save money. So that's why we've kind of designed these programs in this way. So you'll see more stuff coming out apart from what Joey's already mentioned as well. Let me leave it at that for the moment, Joey.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bob. And I'm just getting questions, guys, about the pricing. We just showed the pricing. Again, you'll get a copy of this deck. I'll have it in our knowledge base. We're also going to have a landing page for merchants, so if they want to see the different, the different native bundles, they can see that, and I'll make sure you have a PDF, everything you're looking for. And thank you again, Bob, for that. One thing is, your existing merchants, I sent out notices to a lot of your administrators in early August. They were basically, the messaging went out from Poynt just saying, hey, there's some options here for you if you want to upgrade between now and, I believe it was like September 3rd, 15th. merchants boarded on or after August 21st will automatically be placed in the premium plan for 30-day trial. And then they'll go back to basic if they're not using those features. Again, when we looked at across the board, not a lot of merchants were using above basic because a lot of them were still features that were just kind of testing out, like invoicing. But some of them might have been. So that's something to kind of give you. That's why we gave that heads up in early August to let your merchants know that some of the features they might have been using are no longer free. But then I want to bring you back to this kind of why we're moving towards this bundling model, and how we see this trial period being effective, effective for these merchants, and what we kind of see past this trial period with a lot of the new features coming out.
Yeah. So over the past couple of years and even more recently, our engineers have been adding new features and functionality to the product. At the same time, we've looked at the competitive frame and what people were starting to do on the marketplace, and they were starting to put them together into packages. And so we sat back and we said, well, how can we really help our partners like you that are out selling Poynt to be more effective, and how can we help you be more effective with your merchants? So what we did was we constructed a series of bundles that really, I think, helps the life cycle of a business, of a merchant, from starting out or being quite small to as they become more sophisticated and want to add more services and new ways of reaching and touching their clients. So we built the most basic bundle, which allows somebody to run a fairly basic cash register type of functionality and accept credit cards, to the advanced package, and even the premium package, where you can even launch loyalty programs and email programs. You can create an immediate interaction with your customers, have more sophisticated inventory and cataloging capability. And then beyond that, we go one step further, is that we've working with partners and curating apps to help you go deeper into some segments. So we all know the restaurant business has many different segments, and they all have many different needs. Hair salon industry, the same thing, retail, etc. And so we've assembled and will continue to assemble a group of great partners that will allow you to deliver even more sophisticated interactions with the customers, and even connect to traditional POS for as long as that stays around as well. So that was sort of our philosophy. Change is always tough, but we felt that if we don't make this change and help you make this change right now, if you're just out there selling payments, as many of us have started in the industry, I've been in the industry a long time, then I think we're going to be passed by the competition, and I think this allows us to stay ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys want to see, one of the things that we've been helping with, and I've been working with Bob's team extensively. I actually just had like a 2-hour meeting with their new head of education and kind of marketing material. Is we'll be building like vertical training, and the next webinar I'm going to have is all going to be, how do you sell the different verticals with these bundles and the third-party apps, and just get your agents and your sales reps super comfortable with that. It's still very competitive. Poynt Basic out of the box is still very competitive with smart terminals. I think that we're going to have to teach you guys, with the different bundles, what it looks like versus Clover and versus Square and versus other, smart products that maybe you've sold before, or, you've gone up in competition against. I think there's still a lot of great value, and, we just got to highlight that for you and get better education out to you. If you go into your...
Joey, yep. One suggestion is just to look at it when you look at these bundles. So if you all have any interest at all in hair salons or veterinarians or any of these other groups that have the need for multi-mid, there aren't many competitive based products out there that offer multi-mid capabilities, and that was something based upon your feedback and looking at the marketplace, that we decided to offer across all the packages, basic, advanced, and premium. That should give you an opportunity to go out and kill that segment and take away business from other people who aren't offering Poynt and offering competitive-based solutions. So there's a lot of stories like that, and I think you'll find out, this product now opens up a whole new set of conversations with your merchants beyond just looking at, hey, is your rate cheap or not?
And we'll make sure that you know, again, one of the vertical trainings we have is Swan Spas, what it looks like with the native software, and then we're going to go over another application here in a moment that helps with that. We'll give you guys lists of what your merchants are using, what bundles they're using, and then you can also just go into your mission control. All the resellers have direct access to this. And within mission control, you just go to the merchant, go to bundle subscription, you'll see what bundle they're under, and if they've advanced or if they just stayed on basic. So we want to make sure that's all very transparent and visible for you guys to follow along. Kind of some of the questions that we figured we'd be getting, and I've already gotten in the past month is, how do I request the add-on features for my merchant? How do I change the plans for my merchant? So the merchants can just upgrade themselves again in Poynt.net. They just have to go to log into their account. I'd probably steer away from you doing it yourself for any controversial issues, but just your merchants can go in there and then they just go to plans and subscriptions, and then under account and settings, they have the ability to change, and then they should see the a la carte options there soon. And then how does a reseller maintain direct billing relationship with the merchants for any point solution service or available options? So again, the reseller fees are going to be charged to you by Boomtown still. If the merchant wants to upgrade bundles, it's just like buying a third-party app. They're going to see the other options. They're going to put in their credit card. They're going to pay for that. And then we'll basically have it so your merchants, the rev share will go back to your organization. Bob, do you know what the rev share is on these packages? I didn't put it in the spec. Is it? Do you know what it is for advanced and for premium?
I'm trying to remember. It depends if they're pushed separately or collectively. Give me a second, and I'll just reconfirm that. Hold on.
Okay, I know it's 20. It could be even close to like 20% on rev share. So you get a good handful.
It's around
20%. You're getting some money back, which is great. And then we can provide a list of your merchants using those packages, so you'll understand that because we have to do the rev share anyways. So we'll make sure that your team has access to that. And then if your resellers have questions, just tell them point sales at goboomtown.com or the support at Poynt. I would actually go to Boomtown because we can do more sales support. With that team, and support at Poynt is more focused on the support. And then do we have a landing page for the merchants? So if they just go to like Poynt's website, they see the different bundles. We're creating that right now and trying to make that again by vertical, so they have a lot of reason why they would upgrade and based on their profile. And then for support, it's going to stay exactly the same for you guys. All the support options are going to be the same, but in the case that your merchants are advanced or premium, they're going to have extra support. But we'll keep all those channels the same for you. Okay, so here's some links that are helpful. Some things I'll go over what we've talked about, and then I have the sales knowledge base for Poynt, which has all these kind of PDFs and information. I also have the sales hub. I will again send an email out right after this webinar to everybody who joined today at 3 p.m. to talk more about these bundles, and again, look at a copy of the deck and the recording in case any of your team members missed it, or if you want to dive in deeper on the details. I want to talk about loyalty for a second. So if you look into the loyalty feature, it's pretty great because you have the ability to, again, track customer spend and also get the customer's information. So they can join right on the screen. They enter their phone number. They'll get a notification that they've joined. But actually, behind the scenes, if they're using their credit card, the same credit card, it's already tracking the spend. And then when they opt in, they'll say, hey Joey, you've already spent $200 here. You already get a reward, or here's how many points you need until your next reward. So it's really kind of seamless. It tracks everything, and then you can just redeem it on the screen if they want a free sandwich, free drink. So that's really easy. But what we've seen so far is the customer view, right? They can also, once they add it, they'll get that notification over text, and they can actually add it to Apple Wallet. So they can have a loyalty card, for their favorite cafe right on the Apple Wallet. I'm sure we'll work on Android soon, but it's on iOS already, which is great. Again, they don't need this to redeem or to collect rewards, but it's just a great value-added feature that there's a digital loyalty card they can have, and I think it's a cool value add for the merchant as well. And then when you're in as the merchant in Poynt HQ, you'll actually track the customer spend. You can add points manually if maybe they did a phone order or called in, but you can just track their spend. You'll see your customer's information. They'll have the phone number, email, and then you can extract that data into a CSV file at any time. And you'll have a list of all your customers and who your top customers are, which is great because if they haven't even opted in, we're still tracking it for your customer, so you can see who your top customers are behind the scenes, whether or not they're even opted into the loyalty program. And then the next feature is we want to build the email marketing platform into this, past what's already available today, so you can just do campaigns from this, from the software. But today you can set up how many rewards and what reward they get for how many visits, all that kind of stuff. That's all available to set up. They just go to the Poynt Loyalty tab on the in Poynt HQ, and I think with the customers tab, that's where it's actually going to have all the customer spend and all that additional information you were just speaking about. The virtual terminal is going to be new on Poynt HQ. So when they go to the store settings, they just go to the actual terminal and they can do they can set the virtual charge from whatever terminal it is. So once they click virtual terminal, it's going to basically show that credit card information, and then through that they have the ability to do a card not present keyed in transaction. If they're doing it on the mobile app, so you can do this of course on the terminal, but you can't do this on your desktop. And now you can do it on the mobile app as well. You just basically go to more, you click whatever terminal you want to associate it with the transaction. You go to card entry, and then you put in the card information. It's card not present or card present. And then you basically have the ability to do a sale, and then we can do an authorized card, authorized transaction that's coming soon for the advanced packages, where you have the ability to do an authorized credit card. The customer feedback tool is also in the advanced and premium packages, where basically if you email or SMS your customer a receipt, they can just respond to that receipt via email or SMS, and then those messages will pop up in your HQ. You'll also get an email notification that your customer is communicating with you. And that's what it's going to look like. Just, hey, you can actually reply right to the email that you got, and that will reply as well. Or you can reply in your Poynt HQ or your Poynt Mission Control. But the cool thing here is it's like, really easy transparency with your customers. This is what it would look like if you were just doing it over text. They'll get the receipt, and then they can just start talking to you. Really good for service companies or merchants that are doing services. Let's talk about some of the third-party apps and applications. Just go a quick refresh on a lot of these groups that have been very successful and very helpful. We were talking about salon and spas. I think that if your merchant is doing under probably like $25K a month in processing, I think the native software will be fine based on what they need. But if they want scheduling, Manglement is it's basically a replacement for MindBody. It's a little bit expensive, but it does online integration. Their team will do the sale for you. They'll do the demo for you. And they have the ability to basically do, again, online scheduling, pick your specialist, pick your service, check out online, check out on the Poynt terminal. Really great for spa and salons. And they've been a huge win helping a lot of our resellers sell to bigger and better salons. So I'm really excited about this one. We've just seen a lot of sales and a lot of success. And that's been super helpful with the multi-mid feature available there as well. Homebase is free, so employee scheduling, clock in, clock out, time management. There are upgrades you can pay for more things, but for one location, I would just add it to your sale, just saying, hey, we have employee management included in our Poynt terminal, because it is free, and then you can basically get on the Homebase application. They can clock, anyone who has more than 5 employees probably would like Homebase, for scheduling and clock in, clock out, and take a picture of the customer so they can't lie if they clocked in. But that's always been a home run solution. It started on Clover at first, and now it's on Poynt. So we saw a lot of downloads, and it's just been something that I would definitely add to your sale, and definitely don't forget it. Calic has been kind of our breadwinner for restaurants. Anyone who wants like online ordering, takeout, delivery, full table management, intelligent printer routing. Calic is definitely the go-to. They have a sales hub where you can go in there and you can basically have one of their sales reps demo for you. But they also have the ability, which is great, to do full integration on the Poynt terminal, or they can use an iPad or Elo station, and then you can just use the Poynt terminals for the pay at the table or order at the table. So a lot of dynamic ways that you can work with Calic, but I absolutely love their software, and it's just great that we can kind of go after a whole new, larger vertical and compete with a lot of those restaurants that restaurant POS that are out there today. So definitely learn more about Calic, and then reach out if you have any questions, because I would love to talk more about that. eHopper is a really good inventory management retail solution for high-end retail. A lot of the great, bells and whistles. They're going to come out with a table management feature as well soon. But they have a lot more integrations. Where like Calic integrates with the online ordering, Grubhub, DoorDashes, Uber Eats, and eHopper is again more for retail. So they're doing more stock inventory and things like that. Both these POS start at like $40 a month. They go up to about $99 a month, depending on how many locations, how many terminals. But it's just great to have on the shelf in the case that your merchant does need more beyond the Poynt native software and the bundles we've spoken about. And then a lot of you are familiar with Ethor. It makes the Poynt terminal a semi-integrated solution for Micros, Aloha, and Dinaware. So if your bar downtown is using Micros 3700, you can basically go in and say, I have a pay-to-table solution for you that's EMV compliant. There is a little bit, an implementation. There's an additional fee, but reach out to Byron, bblair at ethor.com if you want to get involved. Great way to just kind of sell it to other merchants you might have not been able to sell to before. Factor 4 has always done great gift cards. I love them because they can convert old gift cards. So great to, if your merchant is dying for gift cards, you definitely have an option with Poynt. And it's pretty affordable as well. So definitely reach out to them if you have any questions. True Rating is a free application for your the first location, and then they can pay if they have multiple locations. So like Homebase, I just added to my sale. I just let them know, like, hey, you have employee management, but you also have True Rating, which is customer feedback. How is my service today? How is the food quality 1 to 10? How is your waiter or waitress 1 to 10? Just really easy way to collect at the customer checkout screen. And so kind of, depending on how versatile your customer is, it's a great way to, add more value really quickly. I'll connect to a third party that does cellular plans for Poynt resellers. So you can go to them and basically you can get SIM cards and then mark up their cellular plans. So they'll give you the SIM card that's compatible with Poynt 5, and you have the ability to work with them. Stefan's great to work with. I love that team. They just kind of, definitely handle this portion for us, and no one's really stepped up to do it. So I'm really excited that you guys have an option to, utilize cellular plans. Spacepole has built secure holders for Poynt. So a lot of people might say, oh, I don't want someone running away with my terminal. And if the case that your merchant is sensitive towards that, Spacepole does have hardware that is compatible, and it makes it the Poynt hardware secure on your tabletop. And then next week, again, we're going to do training around verticals for vertical training, or next webinar, which might be in a few weeks. But Adzi is going to join us, and they make it so you can do online and offline marketing. So if your customer comes in, puts in their email address, you can actually have it so when they go on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, they're going to see advertisements of the merchant's business. Vice versa, if you do advertisements on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media platforms, maybe even like YouTube, if the customer signs up there, or they basically say they're interested there, and we can see how many times they came back to the business. So it's a little bit complex, but we'll go over this in detail. Definitely a great way to compete with a lot of the new tools that are coming out with some of the advanced POS. But really excited. If you want to get going right away, feel free to reach out to the Adzi team. They have a submission form right on their website that I've pasted here. All of your customers get 24/7 text, SMS support. They also get the chat and video application. Some of you guys have white label phone support. I know that some of you pay a premium for that, but all of your customers should have access to this. So make sure to utilize this. And then you have operations support, sales support. I have my sales hub and sales knowledge base here. We put all the webinars, all the decks, and then the sales knowledge base is about all the different features. I had to upgrade that a little bit because of the new software bundles. I'm not finished yet, but you guys should be bookmarking that for your sales team if you have not already. Looks like we just want to go into a few questions. Let me just see here. Bob has basically been able to help with the rev share. So it's 10% for the advanced. And then if, let me see, 30%, it looks like for premium.
Let me help you out here. So it's
yeah, sorry, sorry.
There's no for the basic package, there's no rev share, but for the advanced package, if the merchant initiates a purchase, then we share 10% of the market value, which is $14.99. If you go out and sell it, you get 25%. For the premium package, if you go out, or the premium package, you go out and sell it for $39.99, you get 30% commission. If the merchant buys it, through their HQ, you get 15%. So again, another way to add revenue to your bottom line. This is a recurring based revenue, and another way to substantially increase the revenue that you're receiving from your merchants while providing them value.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that, Bob.
We'll publish that out too, so you don't have to, in case you didn't.
All right, guys. Feel free to reach out again. I'm just going to repeat myself because I keep getting asked it. The deck and the recording will go out to everybody who registered. We'll make sure to do a refresh with all of our emails. Basically, the go forward plan with some of this stuff, as well as any important information in the next webinar, which was do sales vertical sales training along with that at the social media platform that we're going to be adding to the Poynt terminal as well. So reach out. As we mentioned, this is not a finished product. We have a lot to learn from you as well. So feel free to reach out on how you think things are going, where you need help, and we will definitely listen to your feedback. We want to build you a great product and make you successful. So thanks a lot for everybody's time today. Thank you, Bob, for joining, and we'll talk with you all soon.
Have a great day.